Okay, the next topic is about multiplexing. It's not about multiplexing. We need to go with the line coding techniques. How we are going to go with the line coding techniques? First, we need to just check out what is this multiplexing and its types. Multiplexing can be divided into two types, that is analog multiplexing and digital multiplexing. We go with two types, one is analog multiplexing and digital multiplexing. Then we need to see the subtypes of analog and digital. When go with the analog multiplexing, you guys will be having FDM and WDM. And we have a number of types based on that, depending upon the varying of the parameters in it. FDM stands for frequency division multiplexing and wavelength division multiplexing. When come for the digital, we go with TDM, that is time division multiplexing. Again, this time division multiplexing can be divided into two types, that is synchronous TDM and async TDM, asynchronous TDM related things. What will happen when we go with the digital, or when we are going to convert from analog to digital or digital to analog? There should be some overlapping scenarios are going to be existence. For that, we have something by the name, I think everyone will be know of this, that is ISI, that is inter symbol interferences. Okay. This may be the major error that we are going to look in this particular topic. So, how to avoid these things, how to reduce these things? This can be done by using a technique by the name line coding. This can be done by using a technique by the name line coding. We just look the overview of line coding now. Overview of line coding. Line coding can be divided into three types majorly. That is, first one unipolar, second one is polar. Again, unipolar can be divided into unipolar return to 0 and non-return to 0. Again, your polar can be divided into two different perspectives, that is polar RZ return to 0 and polar NRZ non-return to 0. Apart from this, we have something by the name bipolar also. Again, in bipolar we will be having return to 0 and non-return to 0. For our syllabus, we are going to concentrate on polar RZ and NRZ by using simulation. By using block processing, we are going to just observe how exactly the return to 0 and non-return to 0 is going to be worked out. Okay.
A line coding is a code used to data transmission of a digital signals over a transmission line. This process of coding is chosen as so to avoid overlap and distortion of signals such as inter-symbol interference. We call that as ISI. Okay, what are the properties of it and what are the types of it that we're going to see in this particular laboratory? In unipolar NRZ, a I data is represented by a positive pulse called as mark, that we are going to have a high signal, and a low data as no pulses in it. That is, it will be having a high at when we have a positive pulses, and it will be 0 at when we have a no pulses in it. Likewise, when we look at it, we can just study what exactly be the polar. When we go with the polar NRZ, in this, a I data is represented by positive pulses, with a low data is represented by a negative pulses. Okay, you can just see that polar NRZ, where exactly high data is represented as. For what reference we need to consider? This is the message bits we need to consider, and we need to draw the equation. When we go with the unipolar RZ, you will be having only two states, 0 and A state. When we go with the polar NRZ, you will be having three different states, that is A, 0 and minus A. Okay, so according to the rules of this particular polar NRZ, you will be having a high in data when you have a positive pulse, and you have a low in data when you have a negative pulse. That was the scenario that we are going to see here. Polar RZ, in this you're going to have, when you have a high in data, you will be having a duration T naught which will be less than mm, the bit stream. That is, you will be having the same bit stream, but there is a difference here. Half of the bit duration remains I, but another of remains to 0 when you go with the RZ. You can see the RZ scenario. When we go with the polar, okay, you will be having, so what will happen for this particular wave? You will be having high, and half of the bit will be high and remaining will be low. So this can be realized like this. Um, so you can just check out, if you're going to have representation of RZ for year, so half of the bit, that is, if you consider this entire signal as say some duration T bits, TB, so in a RZ you are going to have only T by 2 of that particular thing that we're going to represent in RZ. Then we go with a bipolar thing. How exactly we work for bipolar? Here you will be having again three different perceptions, that is minus A, 0 and A, such that this is called bipolar signals. Again in bipolar we will be having RZ and NRZ. What will exactly happen? In this, there will be an alternate inversion of the signal will be presented. For example, for if you have a signal of voltage 1, the level get transitions from plus to negative, from minus to plus, having an alternate ones to be of equal polarity. And if it is of A will be equals to 0, will have a 0 voltage level. Okay, this is how it is going to work. That means if you have, you can just look at it. If you have a alternate ones, okay, it's going to have a transition from positive negative. If it is a positive negative, if the signal is in positive negative, then the transition will go from negative to positive. That was the scenario that we have, and it will be having only half of the thing, that is T by 2. It will be having T by 2 for RZ and TB for NRZ. This is how the line coding techniques are going to work. All today, as we discussed in the theory, that how exactly the line coding are going to work. Now, in this session, we are going to see the simulation, how exactly that can be realized by using the MATLAB Simulink. So everyone open your MATLAB of your versions. I have a version by the name R2018A. So what you need to do is, I think in the DSP lab, you guys have learned about how to do the coding with respect to uh, scripts. That is, you're going to have a new scripts. You're going to have a scripts. Then there in that particular scripts, you're going to write the things like something by the name CLC, clear all, close all. Then you're going to generate, you're going to write a body here, so that you're going to write the signal related things in the DSP lab, or if you have used any of the codings here. But instead of this, what we do in this classes, we go for a simulation. What is that simulation? What does that simulation stands for? So in your MATLAB, we have a block processing method that we are going to study in this lab. If you have a window like this, if you click on this part, that is start Simulink, you can directly move to the Simulink library. But sir, we're not having this. In my MATLAB, it is not visible like this. So what best you can do is you can write, or you can type Simulink in your command window, so that, so it's getting initialized now. The moment you type Simulink on a command window, so your Simulink is going to get initialized. Now, so the template will look like this. What you need to do is, you can go with the blank library, blank project, any of the things. Better go for a blank model. We are creating a model now. That is the first experiment of yours, so generation of RZ and NRZ waveforms. That is with respect to polar and bipolar one. Click on the blank model. You're going to do the first experiment, that is generation of unipolar NRZ and RZ waveforms. Okay, now your window is open now. So for this window, we need to drag and drop the blocks so that we can execute the things. Before getting into the actual experiment, we just see how exactly we can work with respect to a generation of signals. In previously, while writing the scripts, you guys are going to write what is fs, what is the n number of samples you need to take. You are writing a code with respect to 4 to 5 lines to generate. Then you're going to apply subplot. Then you're going to display those things using the MATLAB scripts. Here, instead of going to that, we use blocks and we do it. How to get the blocks? Or you can directly click on library browser. The moment you click on it, you will be routed to the libraries that you have in your MATLAB Simulink. Okay, usually so now you can look the Simulink library browser. So here you need to learn some basic functionalities. Okay, these are all aerospace, audio system, automated driven system, communication system. These are all the toolboxes that we have in this particular license. Okay, we have a license for this and we have all this toolboxes. Our intention is we need to generate a what? A sinusoidal signal. Okay, for that you need to just use all these things. Okay, here we have something by the name sources. Click on that and just observe the things. Sources means the initial things or the inputting things where exactly you're going to have the things you have in your Simulink. For example, I need to have a I need to generate a wave so that you will be having a waveform generator. I need to generate sine wave so that you will be having sine wave generator. So I need to have a generation of signals so that I will be having a signal generator. Our intention is to generate a sine wave, so that what I do is from the sources I'm going to take sine wave, right click on it and add block to model. The model that we have opened is untitled, so it is not titled now. Just click on it. If I do like that, it will be appear on this particular. Just select it and delete it. So you will be having your sine wave block. You can maximize it. Just look at it, right click on it, or double click on that particular block, and just go for the block parameters. Okay, you will be having block parameters. Click on that block parameters. You will be displayed with the parameters that can be altered by using this particular block. Okay, so output of sine waves, this was written in the scripts using .m files, right? So the output files will be consisting of amplitude into sine of frequency into t plus phase plus bias. This was a formula, and the samples for per second. Okay, everything will be written in this particular block. So you need to select the parameters, whether this particular sine type should be of time based or sample based. Better we go for the time based. Then whether it is going to be used with respect to the simulation time of this particular model, or it is going to use the external signals. Better go for the simulation time. So let's have an amplitude of 5. We don't have need bias. A frequency of say 50 hertz. Here it will be in terms of radians per second. Then having a phase and sample time. So apply it, click on OK. Now my sine wave block is ready. So what is the next thing I need to do? I have an input that need to be observed at the output, right? What is the output thing? Where exactly output thing will be present? Go for the Simulink library again. Click on sinks. Sinks means where exactly you're going to have a output related activities. So you can have a display unit. You can display by using the XY graphs or any related things, or you can export this particular things to workspace. Workspace means this particular values will be exported to the MATLAB scripts in terms of variables in the workspace. It will be stored. So right click on it, add to your untitled one. There you will be having a presence of displaying unit. So what you need to do, connect this and this block. Okay, after connecting it, just click on this run button. The moment you click on it, the signal is going to be run and it will be stored in this particular. You can just observe it's getting compiled. Okay, and your output is ready. So what you need to do now, just double click on it. Okay, anything else, you can just vary the things or any of the things. So you will be having a display of some amplitude. The output value is displayed. So now what I need to do, instead of this I need to have a scope so that I can absorb the waveform. So take the scope. Okay, just do the connections. The same output I need to observe here, right? Rerun it. Just double click on the scope. You can just take a values like this, or you can see the waveform also. So your sine wave is generated with having an amplitude of this particular. Okay, sine waves. It will having higher frequencies. No, sir, I need to have a better look of it. So this is your sine wave. So just vary the grids. Okay, your sine wave is generated with having an amplitude of 5. So we just do it generated. No, sir, the frequency is high. We need to have a lower frequencies. No issues. Go with the lower frequencies. Go with the lower frequencies and you can apply it. So once you're done with that, you can observe the waves. So the sampling frequency is not up to the mark. You can vary the sampling frequencies and you can have it. This is how you can do the experiment. Okay. I think you are aware of it. Those who have this particular software in your uh, laptop, you can try it and you can enjoy creating the blocks and you can do whatever you want. Of things with respect to RZ and NRZ waveforms. So experiment 1 is a generation of RZ and NRZ waveforms. Okay, what are the things that we needed and what is the connection we need to do? The first thing what we need to do have you should have a Bernoulli binary. Okay, the message bits Bernoulli generator need to be taken from the Simulink library. So then we should have a NOT gate. So where and all this NOT gate are present. Okay, you can go for the library. In the library, this NOT gate is called as what? Math operators. Okay, you can go for the math operators. There you will be having all the mathematical operators that you need to have. Then you will be having something by the name model verification, ports and subsystems, signal attributes, signal routings. Okay, each and everything that will be present. For example, if you are using first time, then sir I need to have very urgently, so that the commonly used blocks need to be present. You can just click on this commonly used block, so that you will be having the blocks that is going to be displayed that you have used recently. Okay, if you have to have a continuous waveforms related blocks, you can go for this. If you have discontinuities, you can have all the blocks present in it. So we move there. So connection has to be made like this. Place the NOT, place the constant -1, take the multiplier operators, then adder with respect to 3 or 4 waveforms, then the scope is present. We just run it and we just check out what exactly happened in this particular waveform. Okay, you can just check out this, it's compiling happening, it's running, and you got the output now. Just double click on the scopes. Okay, you can have the things. Okay, just observe here what are things you're going to have. Okay, the below one represents the polar NRZ waveforms. Okay, this is how the way analysis are going to be done. This is a bipolar one and this is what unipolar one. Okay, you can just observe from 0 to a you will be having, here you will be having 0 to a and 0 to minus a. That was what we discussed in the theory. Okay, then you need to go with one more experiment, that is generation of things with respect to RZ. Okay, the connection need to be made like this. Okay, this is your message bits, so you need to go with a probability of 0.5%, which you have an initial seed of 46 and a sample time of 1 with parameters that you need to evaluate here. Then pulse generator, which is having a amplitude 1 and a pulse width of 50 with a period of 1. Then you go for unipolar, give the number of inputs as 2, pulse generator another 1, amplitude 1 and the period 1, along with that the pulse width, then NOT gate, then the product NOT gate constant. In this particular part you're going to get a polar RZ. Just check it out, run the experiment, double click on that particular scope, you'll be having the visualization of the waveforms. So this becomes the unipolar waveform and this becomes the polar waveform. Okay, this is your message bits. Okay, you can observe unipolar return to 0, that is TB by 2 you're going to have. If you have a 1, so in RZ as we discussed in the theory recently, so that you will be having a TB by 2 times of your waveforms. So when you go with the polar, you will be having two polarity, A, 0 and minus A, that what we discussed in the theory. You will be having the waveforms like this. This is how you need to do the experiments with respect to the first one, polar RZ and NRZ. Okay, so sir, what may be the message bits that you are given? Just the same thing, the probability of that particular thing will be 0.5 and you will be having an initial seed of 46 and a sample time of 1. That is sufficient. This represents the generation of RZ and NRZ waveforms. Thank you. The next part of the experiment is about how to generate off sinusoid pulses, raised cosine pulses, and to generate eye diagram for the binary polar signaling. Okay, the first part is we just check with the simulation of NRZ and RZ. So why we need these three or these two types of sinusoid pulses and what are the intention of having learning this? Okay, cosine pulses. The first is raised cosine pulses. Okay, what is the intention of having this pulses, why we need it? Okay, we just look into the theoretical perspectives of it. What exactly it says, we know that we use off cycle of the cosine function centered around the off of the symbol rate. By taking it look like this. Okay, if I take this as an amplitude 1, this becomes 0.5, so this becomes the middle threshold for it. And if I consider this as T by 2 or off into T or off into TB, and this becomes the T, the total TB. Okay, what will happen now? Your signals is going to come like this. Okay, this is called the raised cosine pulses, where at the x-axis you're going to go with the frequencies and here the function h of f. The complete details for it, you can look at it in theory of digital communication that we have already learned, mod of h of f. So what will happen by using this particular pulses? If we use this particular pulses at the end of the, that is at the end of the receiving end, or at the end of the decoding part, or to observe the output, okay, if this is signal is symmetry about 1 by 2t, that is, if there is that particular concept is present, then we can say that there will be no distortion in the signals. That means what are the input that we're going to give, that becomes the output. Okay, that is the intention, that why we are going to use this raised cosine pulses and off sinusoidal signals. Okay, we are just taking off signal here. Okay, we have just taken off cycle of the signal and off cycle of the cosine function, and we have proved it. Okay, this is the intention why we need to generate the cosine pulses. So how we generate this in MATLAB Simulink? We have a raised cosine filter so that it can be applied after generating NRZ waveforms or RZ waveforms. Just put the raised cosine filter block, then visualize these particular things in the eye diagram. Next, we are going to see what is this eye diagram. The next concept is eye diagram. Why we need it? As the name suggests, and I think this particular figure was studied in the theory, eye diagram is used primarily to look at digital signals for the purpose of recognizing the effects of distortion and finding its source. Okay, this is applicable for the non-band limited signals, where exactly when there will be no distorted scenarios. We just see some of the scenarios, then we look into this particular figure. One of the scenario is how we are going to draw this eye diagram. Okay, just we're going to write a simple waveform and we just check it out. Assume that we have a signal 1 0 1 1 as my message bits. Okay, I send these signals at the transmission end and I receive at the receiver end. How we are going to draw with respect to the waveform? So high, low, high and high. Correct, right? It will be at TB, 2 TB and 3 TB, and the next is 4 TB, and it's continuous. Okay, how we are going to draw the eye diagrams here? Eye diagram is nothing but cutting the waveform at every bit durations. For example, I need to cut this waveform at 0 to TB, TB to 2 TB, 2 TB to 3 TB and 3 TB to 4 TB. How we are going to do it? Assume that we are doing like this. So where and all high will be present, we are going to mark high, low, high, high. We are cutting each and everything and we are going to just look into it. Okay, when we go for the band limited signals, how exactly this scenarios work? When we go for the band limited signals, 200% will be having a intersymbol interference scenario. How exactly that works? It will work like this. The same thing can be written as, assume that it is overlapped. So how to draw the overlap scenario? So a 0 signal is overlapped from here to here, then 1 is overlapped from here to here. Okay, so how will it will be drawn? So it can be drawn high, so there is an overlap, low, it is not a straight line, it's not a, we cannot draw it because there will be a overlap at this particular region, each and every frame, and 1 again it is overlap from like this, 1 again there is an overlap. In this way the overlap is going to come across for this particular things so that it look like an eye. So what we do is we're going to apply this for polar NRZ and RZ scenarios, and we're going to here, the moment you look at this particular scenario, it's look like a open, where exactly the no distortion is happening here. Whereas here it's look like a closed one where exactly you will be having some distortion. Okay, where and all the sample value is overlapped, there we are going to have this particular scenarios where exactly we can clearly observe the scenarios with respect to it's like a common eye. That's why it's the name common eye diagram. How we are going to implement this in our project, that is in our experiment? How we do it? We're going to insert the eye diagram block in a Simulink, and we're going to connect that to constellation diagram or to any of the things so that we can observe it, that we can see in the simulation. Look at it. Look at this scenario. In this scenario, I think this was discussed in the theoretical class also. When you have a best sampling method, when you have at the deadline, when you have a margin, when you're going to come across this particular part. So the moment you say that this distortion of zero crossing is going to occur in your signals, means your eye diagram should be like this. It should like a blinking part. Okay. When you don't have, that means if you don't have a distortion, you're going to get a very good waves. Okay, that we are going to see in the simulation. So one of the condition we need to follow to observe the eye diagram is we need to consider all the parameters in the particular model should consist of discrete time signals. Then and only we are going to get the eye diagram. That was the conditions. And how to have a discrete time signal with respect to that means we have used some pulse generators here. Pulse generator is a continuous one. So we going to go with we change the pulse generator block parameters to use the external time signal. Click on the pulse generators. Click on the pulse generator. Click on the pulse generator. There, go for a block parameters. In that particular block parameters, use external signal as an option and make that pulse width to 1. If we make that, then we are going to apply external digital clock to it. If we go with that, then the particular block becomes the discrete time signals one. Then go for a Simulink library and insert a component by the name eye diagram and insert raised cosine receive filter. We have two types of filter, transmit and the receive filter. Use receive filter, then apply a right diagram. So after applying all these things, just run the block. You will be having the display of the first one. For the polar NRZ waveform, you will be having the eye diagram. You will be having the eye diagram. Okay. So you can go with the continuous one or you can just go with the step forward. Okay, go with the step forward one. Go with the step forward. So where exactly you can just analyze the things. So this becomes the normal signals where and all you're going to have a overlap where there at that particular point you guys will be experiencing the overlap in the orange color. Okay, this is the eye diagram for NRZ and this will be the eye diagram for RZ, and this will be the case scenario for that we have taken square root of raised cosine where exactly the eye diagram for that will be seen here. This is how you need to initialize or visualize. This is how you need to visualize the experiment. Thank you.